Have you ever wondered if the vitamins you take every morning, those little pills you trust to keep you healthy, might actually be weakening your legs, making it harder for you to walk, stand, or even rise from your favorite chair? As someone who's walked this earth for 9 decades, I've seen what happens when we believe something is helping us, only to learn too late that it's been slowly harming us. Today, I want to speak to you, not as a doctor in a white coat, but as someone like you, who's lived long enough to know that the truth isn't always what's printed on the bottle. It's time to talk about the 7 worst vitamins seniors should stop taking immediately, because they may be destroying your leg strength, triggering inflammation, and quietly robbing you of your independence. Before we dive in, if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you hit that button and turn on the bell so you never miss another health tip made just for you. If you enjoy this video, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0 to let me know how I can make better content for you. 1. Vitamin E in high synthetic doses. We were told vitamin E was the golden key to better heart health, smoother skin, and youthful energy. For years, many of us followed that advice, faithfully adding it to our daily pill organizers, trusting it was doing us more good than harm. But as I've come to learn, and now urge you to consider, some things that promise healing can quietly cause harm, especially as our bodies age. High doses of synthetic vitamin E, often found in cheap over-the-counter supplements, don't act the same way as the natural form. Instead of gently supporting our health, they can trigger muscle weakness, nerve irritation, and painful cramping, particularly in the legs. I've met many seniors who thought their balance issues or leg fatigue were just a part of getting old. But in truth, their bodies were reacting to something toxic disguised as helpful. You see, synthetic vitamin E can disrupt the delicate work of your muscles and nerves. It interferes with how cells use oxygen, and over time, it can break down the coordination and strength in your lower body. The result? A creeping sense of instability, legs that feel shaky, steps that become shorter, more cautious. You start to avoid the stairs, you hesitate before standing, and little by little your world shrinks, just because of one supplement no one warned you about. The worst part, the symptoms sneak in. There's no sudden alarm, just a slow weakening that most of us chalk up to age. Until one day, rising from the couch feels like lifting a mountain. It's time we ask harder questions about what we put in our bodies. Not everything with a vitamin label is harmless. Some are wolves in sheep's clothing. But vitamin E is just the beginning. What if I told you another common supplement taken daily by millions of seniors is silently hardening your arteries and flooding your leg muscles with pain? Let's talk about that next. If you're still watching and finding these insights helpful, please comment number 1 below to let me know you're with me. Now let's move on to point number 2. 2. Vitamin A, retinol, animal-based high dose. When we were younger, vitamin A was praised as essential for sharper eyesight, a stronger immune system, and even healthier skin. It felt like a badge of wisdom to include it in our daily routine, especially in those golden years when we're trying to hold on to every ounce of vitality. But what many don't realize is that too much of a good thing, especially in the form of retinol, the animal-based version of vitamin A, can quietly turn harmful, particularly to our legs, bones, and joints. Our aging bodies process and store fat-soluble vitamins differently than they once did. Retinol doesn't just pass through the body when it's not needed. It builds up over time, silently accumulating in our liver, tissues, and bones. In large or prolonged doses, this buildup begins to interfere with calcium absorption, weakens the skeletal structure, and promotes inflammation in joints and muscles, especially in the hips, knees, and legs. I've sat across from many seniors who described a burning ache in their legs, a dull stiffness when they stand up, or a throbbing pain that keeps them from sleeping. They blamed arthritis, cold weather, or simply getting older. But when we traced it back, many had been unknowingly overdosing on vitamin A through multivitamins, fish liver oil, and fortified foods. The very supplement they believed was helping them see more clearly may have been clouding their mobility all along. Worse still, vitamin A toxicity doesn't shout, it whispers. You might not feel it right away. It's only after months or even years of discomfort, declining balance, and growing fatigue that the truth begins to show. But this isn't the only vitamin hiding behind a friendly label. What if I told you there's one more supplement common in almost every senior's cabinet that could be silently fueling inflammation and turning healthy blood into a slow burning current in your legs? Let's uncover that next. 3. Iron in non-anemic seniors. Iron has long been associated with strength. We've all heard it. Strong as iron. Iron-rich foods for energy, and the ever-present reminder to take your iron for your blood. But here's the truth. Few will tell you, if you're not anemic, that daily iron supplement may be quietly poisoning your system, especially your legs. As we age, our bodies change the way they handle iron. We no longer lose iron through menstruation or extreme physical activity like we did in our younger years. For many older adults, especially those eating balanced diets or fortified foods, iron builds up quietly, invisibly, dangerously. Unlike water-soluble vitamins that flush out, excess iron stores itself in tissues and organs, where it begins to stir up. One of the first places it strikes is your lower body. Iron overload can trigger oxidative stress, damaging muscles and blood vessels, inflaming the joints, and impairing circulation. That tightness you feel in your calves, that unexplained fatigue in your thighs after a short walk, it might not be aging. It could be your own iron pills silently disrupting your mobility. Over time, excess iron thickens the blood, taxes the heart, and causes swelling, numbness, or tingling in the legs. I've met too many seniors who never thought twice about their iron supplement until they started falling more often, feeling their legs go out, or needing help getting out of the car. Doctors later found no anemia, no medical reason for the iron, just years of unnecessary supplementation and preventable damage. It's a haunting realization, but a liberating one too. We can stop this. With proper testing, awareness, and guidance, we can protect our strength instead of eroding it with good intentions gone wrong. But iron isn't the only trusted supplement with a hidden cost. There's another one far more popular that millions take each day believing it strengthens their bones, when in reality it may be stiffening their arteries and weighing down their legs like cement. Let's talk about that next. If you're still watching and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 1 below to let me know you're here. Now let's keep going with point number 4. 4. Calcium, especially with no vitamin K2. Calcium has been marketed to seniors as the holy grail of aging, the supplement to keep bones strong, prevent fractures, and fight osteoporosis. For decades, many of us took those chalky white pills every morning with coffee, believing we were building a fortress around our bones. But what if I told you that without the proper balance, without vitamin K2 to guide it, that calcium might be hardening the wrong parts of your body, including your legs? Calcium needs a partner. Without vitamin K2, it doesn't know where to go. Instead of heading straight to your bones, calcium begins to settle in your soft tissues, arteries, and muscles, especially in the lower body where blood has to work harder against gravity. Over time, this misplacement creates stiffness, heaviness, and pain in the legs. The very thing you thought was helping your bones might be weighing down your limbs, thickening your arteries, and choking off circulation. I've seen it firsthand. Older adults who could once walk a mile now struggle with 10 steps. They feel as if they're dragging weights behind them. Their calves cramp without warning. Their legs ache at night. And yet, when they visit the doctor, their bone density looks fine. Their heart tests normal. The true culprit remains hidden in plain sight: excess calcium without the guiding hand of vitamin K2. It's not just about bones anymore, it's about blood flow, muscle function, and mobility. Calcium left unchecked can act like concrete in the body, silently hardening what should remain flexible, alive, and strong. But before you throw out all your supplements, stay with me, because the next vitamin on our list is just as vital to your muscles, yet often delivered in a form so ineffective it leaves you cramping, dehydrated, and wondering why your legs just won't stop twitching. Let's turn to that next. 5. Magnesium oxide. Cheap form, low absorption. If you've ever taken magnesium to help with sleep, leg cramps, or constipation, you're not alone. Magnesium is one of the most essential minerals in the body, supporting muscle function, nerve health, and even heart rhythm. But here's something that's rarely discussed. Not all magnesium is created equal, and the type most commonly found in over-the-counter supplements, magnesium oxide, may be doing far less for your body than you think. Magnesium oxide is cheap to produce, which is why it shows up in so many senior multivitamins. But it has one of the lowest absorption rates of any form of magnesium. Some studies suggest as little as 4% is actually used by the body. That means the rest? It moves through your system, often causing diarrhea, dehydration, and electrolyte imbalances, particularly dangerous for older adults. And when you're losing hydration, you're also losing muscle control, balance, and leg strength. I've spoken to seniors who struggled with restless legs at night, unpredictable cramping in the calves, or a sudden giving out feeling when walking. They were taking magnesium daily, sometimes even doubling their dose, without knowing the form they were taking wasn't reaching their muscles at all. Their bodies were left craving magnesium's calming, stabilizing effects, while the supplement passed right through them, creating more problems than it solved. It's frustrating, even disheartening, to think we've been trying to do the right thing, only to be misled by poor quality formulations. But knowledge is power, and with better choices, real relief is possible. Bioavailable forms like magnesium glycinate or citrate offer the support your muscles need without the chaos in your gut. Still, magnesium isn't the only misunderstood nutrient affecting your legs. There's a common B vitamin, one many seniors rely on for energy, that can quietly damage the very nerves that keep your legs steady, and the danger grows the longer you take it. Let's explore that next. 6. Vitamin B6 in high doses. For many seniors, vitamin B6 has long been seen as a safe and beneficial nutrient, essential for energy, brain health, and immune support. And it's true that in the right amount, B6 plays a critical role in keeping our nervous system functioning properly. But here's the troubling truth. Too much B6 can do just the opposite, slowly damaging the very nerves we rely on to walk, to balance, and to feel steady on our feet. Unlike water-soluble vitamins that flush out easily, vitamin B6, especially in high doses, can build up in the body over time, and as it accumulates, it can lead to a condition called sensory neuropathy. That's not just a technical term, it's the creeping numbness in your toes, the burning sensation in your feet, the tingling that crawls up your calves. It's the reason you might feel unsure stepping off a curb, or why your legs feel off even when you've had a full night's sleep. What's worse is that the damage isn't always reversible. I've met older adults who took high-dose B6 for years, thinking it would boost their energy and keep them sharp. No one warned them that long-term exposure could gradually erode their sense of touch and balance. One woman told me she began feeling like her legs were floating, not connected to the floor beneath her. She stopped dancing, then stopped walking long distances, and soon needed help just moving around the house, all from a vitamin that was supposed to help. It's a quiet threat, masked by the label natural or essential, but it's one we must not ignore. Always check your dosage and remember, more isn't better. Too much of even a good thing can quietly take your strength away. But there's one last vitamin we need to talk about. It's one of the most recommended supplements for seniors today, trusted by doctors and wellness gurus alike. Yet, when taken in excess, it can cause unexpected pain, stiffness, and muscle weakness, especially in your legs. Let's take a closer look at that now. 7. Vitamin D, megadoses without monitoring. Vitamin D has become almost a household word among older adults, praised for its ability to strengthen bones, lift moods, and support the immune system. Doctors recommend it, friends swear by it, and many of us take it daily without a second thought. But here's what you may not have been told. When taken in excessive amounts without proper monitoring, vitamin D can silently start harming the very muscles you depend on to move, balance, and stay strong, especially in your legs. Unlike some nutrients that the body simply flushes out when there's too much, vitamin D is fat soluble, meaning it accumulates in your body over time. And while it does help with calcium absorption, too much of it can tip the delicate balance, pulling in more calcium than your body can use and allowing it to settle in your muscles, blood vessels, and soft tissues. The result? You might begin to feel tightness, cramping, or even a strange heaviness in your legs that no amount of stretching or walking seems to relieve. I've listened to seniors talk about how their legs feel locked, like they've aged 10 years in a matter of months. Some mention a deep, aching pain that won't go away. They had no idea that their high-dose vitamin D, meant to protect their bones, was instead hardening arteries and reducing muscle flexibility, making movement more difficult and painful. The real danger lies in how easily this goes unnoticed. Most of us don't get our vitamin levels checked regularly. We assume if a little is good, more must be better. But with vitamin D, that assumption can slowly erode our mobility one step at a time. Now that we've uncovered the hidden dangers behind these common supplements, the next question is perhaps the most important of all. How can we protect our legs, our health, and our independence starting today? The answer begins with awareness, but it doesn't end there. Let's take the next step together. 8. What should seniors do? After hearing the warnings, it's natural to feel overwhelmed or even betrayed. For years, we've been told that vitamins were the safest, smartest way to protect our aging bodies. We lined up our supplements like soldiers, trusting they were working for us. But when you discover that some may have been quietly working against you, it's easy to feel lost or even afraid. Let me assure you, you are not powerless. In fact, this moment right now is an opportunity, an invitation to take back control over your health, to make more informed choices, and to walk forward with clarity and confidence. The first and most important thing you can do is pause and reassess. Don't stop everything cold turkey, but take a closer look at what you're taking and why. If a supplement doesn't come with a clear medical reason or a lab result to support it, question its place in your daily routine. More doesn't always mean better, especially when it comes to vitamins in an aging body. Next, talk to your healthcare provider, not just about what prescriptions you're on, but about your full supplement list. Ask for blood work to measure your levels of vitamin D, B-keys, iron, and other nutrients. The truth is, you might not need as much as you think. And in many cases, real food, balanced, nourishing meals can be a safer, more natural source of what your body truly needs. Also, be mindful of the form your vitamins come in. Many over-the-counter supplements use cheap or poorly absorbed versions of nutrients, which do more harm than good. Seek out higher quality, bioavailable forms when supplementation is truly necessary. And never underestimate the power of hydration, gentle movement, and rest. The basics your body quietly craves far more than megadoses in pill bottles. Most importantly, listen to your body. If your legs feel heavier, if walking becomes harder, if sleep is disrupted by cramps or numbness, don't shrug it off as just getting older. Aging isn't supposed to be a slow slide into pain. It's meant to be a season of wisdom, grace, and dignity. And that begins with knowing when something isn't right and having the courage to do something about it. You've lived long enough to know that health is never something to take for granted, but with knowledge, reflection, and the right choices, you can preserve your independence, protect your body, and enjoy your later years with strength, clarity, and peace of mind. This is your time, and it's never too late to reclaim your vitality. Your health, your wisdom, reclaiming strength in every step. As I reflect on everything we've just uncovered, I can't help but think about how easily we place our trust in things that look helpful on the outside. A bottle labeled vitamin feels harmless, comforting even. It gives us a sense of control in a world where our bodies often feel like they're changing faster than we can keep up. But if there's one thing life has taught me over the decades, it's this: what we trust matters. And sometimes the hardest thing is admitting that even with the best of intentions, we can be led astray. I've lived long enough to know what it feels like to lose strength in your legs, the quiet frustration of not being able to rise from a chair like you used to, the humbling moment when a short walk leaves you winded, or the fear that grips you when your foot suddenly goes numb. These aren't just symptoms, they're whispers from your body asking for a different kind of care. And sometimes that means unlearning old habits and questioning what we've long accepted as good for us. The truth is, we were never meant to live out our later years burdened by unnecessary pills and silent damage. We were meant to age with intention, with the wisdom to choose quality over quantity, to listen to our bodies more closely than we listen to commercials, and to seek answers, even when they're uncomfortable. I don't say this to frighten you. I say it because I care, because I believe your legs, your health, your independence, and your spirit are worth protecting. And because I believe that growing older doesn't mean growing weaker, it means growing wiser. Wiser to the things that serve us and bold enough to walk away from the things that no longer do. So let this be more than just another article. Let it be a turning point, a quiet moment where you put the pill bottles aside, look at them with new eyes, and ask yourself, do I really need this? Am I helping my body or just following old advice that no longer fits the person I've become? You've earned your wisdom. You've walked through seasons that tested you. And now you deserve to walk into this next chapter with strength, clarity, and grace. Don't let something as small as a vitamin steal that from you. Trust your instincts. Ask questions. Move forward with intention. And most of all, remember that your health isn't behind you. It's still in your hands. These lessons are meant to inspire you to live fully and authentically. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Take a moment to reflect and share one thing you've learned and plan to apply in your own life. Let's support each other on this journey toward embracing these truths. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment with 1. If not, feel free to comment with 0. Your feedback means a lot to us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this. Thank you for watching, and here's to living life on your own terms.